We are every day.
Okay, Cliff, all yours.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. I call this meeting of the Town of Rochester Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Ms. Secretary, would you call the roll, please?
Chair Mallory,
Present?
Mr. Sarth,
Present.
Mr. Fisher,
Present.
Mr. Behringer.
Present.
All right. I have confirmed with the town's council that tonight's meeting has been convened in accordance with the governor's March 13th, 2020 Executive Order 202, point 1, which suspends certain provisions of the open meetings law to allow a municipal board to convene a meeting via video conferencing. In accordance with the executive order, the public has been provided with the ability to view tonight's meeting via YouTube, and a transcript will be provided at a later date. The secretary has completed a roll call of the board members, and there is a quorum present for this meeting. I've also confirmed with the secretary that this meeting has been duly noticed. We have fulfilled our legal notice requirement by posting notice on the town clerk bulletin board and outside door, posting legal notice in the Shawangunk Journal, and posting notice on the town's website. Thank you. All right, we have an application, a new application, Greg and Allison Williams. On behalf of are the Williams here, or is there someone appearing on their behalf?
Yes, hi, I'm Nadine from Peak Engineering. I speak on their behalf, but Craig Williams is with me, just a little off camera.
Okay.
So in case we need him for anything.
All right.
So we submitted this application jointly with a subdivision application. The applicant is seeking a subdivision of their property. They live at 533 Old Kings Highway, and it's about a 30-acre parcel, and they're going to be subdividing off 20 acres for a new single-family dwelling. The access to the rear of the property is via the existing driveway, which is going to be shared. And right now, the driveway goes to the existing garage. So as the property line goes by the garage, currently the garage is in compliance with the side yard setback. But with the new property line, there'll be an encroachment in that side yard setback. So when we made the joint application, we sent in basically for the area variance. Upon review, Jerry determined that the garage that's under construction right now in the rear, so it will be on the new parcel, will require a use variance because it's an accessory building without a primary use on the site. So so we had a narrative that talked about the area variance and you know, basically what that meant. We do not have anything in writing for the use variance, but you know, we're definitely going to talk about that tonight because it's kind of a temporary use because they will be building a new home on there shortly. So do you want me to go over the dimensions and the site plan, or does anybody have any questions first?
Well, I have a question first, and that is, how many garages are we talking about? Is there an existing garage and one under construction?
Exactly. So basically what will remain the front lot, there's an existing home, an existing detached garage on that parcel. That existing garage is where we are requesting the area variance. The new garage is under construction, is in the center of the new lot that we're providing. There's no setback variances required for that. It meets all the area requirements and setbacks. It's just that kind of like a lot that has an existing garage on it. If you subdivide that lot, now that garage doesn't have a home. So it's an accessory use without the primary use.
Has that already been constructed?
It's under construction. The foundation's in and the framing's up. So it's not 100% complete. So we did submit a survey map. We had a meeting with the planning board at their last meeting. And they did request that location be shown on the survey. So we did submit that. We dropped off a couple hard copies, but Brianna does have a PDF.
Yeah, that's up on the drive.
Yeah, we have a PDF. We'd be happy to share our screen or anything like that. But so the location of the garage under construction is shown on that plan. And when the surveyor went out, it was only the foundation, so they call it a foundation.
All right, there's work on the,
I just wanted to clarify something. The back garage got a building permit because right now it's all on one lot.
Right.
But by creating the subdivision, that will create the as the homeless garage, as Nadine put it.
And, you know,
So they didn't just start building and then get in trouble.
Right.
They were allowed to build that because it's all one lot right now.
yeah, and really based on time constraints and the weather. And I know once we make an application, such as a subdivision application, nothing else can continue on the site. So the applicant made the decision to get the building permit so that they could get the garage under construction. Again, it is a legal structure at this time. It's allowed because there's 30 acres there. They could technically build another home on this site without a subdivision at this point. But now moving forward with the subdivision, whether it's under construction or even finished, they would still need the use variance.
all right. Now, according to a letter we received from the Code Enforcement Office, the garage under construction is in violation and work needs to cease. Has work ceased?
What is that about? We don't have a copy of
We have a
that.
letter dated October 13th, 2020, to the Planning Board and the Zoning Board from Jerry Davis. Last paragraph of which deals with the use variance. It says,
What's the address on that property?
the address?
Yeah,
Well, it's permit number 20/454.
Well,
Because-
the
I
paragraph.
think
on
it's right. I think that was where he said you have to stop because of the subdivision application, as Nadine just said. So are they working on it now or not?
the applicant or our office did not receive a cease and desist order?
No, it's not a cease and desist order.
Oh. Oh, just that we needed the variance.
Well,
Right,
I'll read
that
it.
it was-
Proceed with the subdivision.
No, he's
I'll-
saying the work needed to cease.
Okay, I don't have that one.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
All right.
Oh,
so
okay, it's, I'm sorry, no, you wouldn't have this. It says for the use it's a memo to planning and ZBA, which that's done with the, sent to us with the zoning permits. And it says that you need the area variance, and then it says applicant obtained building permit 2397 in September to connect the 58 by 32 foot garage. By creating the subdivision, that permit is in violation and the work needs to cease as an accessory structure cannot be built until there is a principal structure on the lot, which I think is what you said as well, Nadine. But I don't think he ever sent out a cease and desist letter.
Okay.
That was the memo to us.
Yeah,
like,
because
why
I
you need
know
a
that-
use variance.
Since then, I know that he has been on site to inspect the installation, the footings and the foundation and things like that. And met with the applicant on site. So I don't think there's a violation as far as continuing construction.
So my question was, is construction continuing?
Yes,
All right.
yes, yep.
All right. Well, so there seems to be an inconsistency because the memo that we have says that the permit is in violation and work needs to cease.
Yeah, I guess there is some confusion because that
Okay.
is not our understanding at all. Because when the permit was issued, the building permit was issued, it's a legal building permit because it's allowed on the lot as it exists.
Right.
The subdivision cannot be approved without the variance approvals. which now include a use variance because this structure will be on a lot by itself without a house. Currently, it's on the existing lot and is a legal permit.
I
Right,
think we better clarify that with code enforcement, Cliff.
right. This may be a technicality. And the building permit, as you point out, may be valid because the subdivision hasn't been granted. But since you are seeking a subdivision, and since that would put the construction in violation, seems to me that construction probably should stop.
That, we'll have to just check that with Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, the construction itself is not in violation. The subdivision cannot happen if, say that for some reason, your board finds that this use variance cannot be granted for, I don't really know why you wouldn't, but that permit was issued prior to the subdivision application. There's nothing in the town regulations, as I have seen ever or in the past, that says that those permits have to cease if the other application is continuing. But on that same note, the only application that is in jeopardy is the subdivision application, because the subdivision application is contingent on the ZBA granting these variances that we're seeking.
Right. However, one of the factors we need to consider in granting a use variance is whether or not the situation is self-created. And by continuing construction, aren't you creating a violation?
So at this juncture, the foundation is there. So the foundation is in existence. So the use variance would be sought at any juncture that in any part of this construction. And the use variance would be sought if the construction was 100% complete. Because
You
this
just told me the
garage could have
framing was done.
existed in this space. And I mean, if we could look at the plan, I think it might be a little more clear, because this is like, again, this is a 30-acre parcel. So it's not like we're asking for a variance to have a garage right next to another house, or it doesn't meet any setbacks or anything like that. So,
Which would be a use variance. I mean, an area variance.
right, so the area variance is related to the pre-existing garage already on the site.
Right.
That's a totally different thing. And I think if we could see the map, I think it would be that we could kind of look at these intents of
Can you-
their
Can you,
location.
Nadine, if I give you share capability, can you share the map?
Yeah, I will get that PDF up and I can definitely share that. It might take me minutes. I'm not sure which monitor, but
Understood.
yeah.
So Nadine, I thought you had said that the framing had already started.
Yes, yep. So
Right, so, okay. So, because before you just said just the foundation was in. So the framing's already started on top of the foundation.
yes. So
Are we clear on that?
the owner applicant applied for a permit for the garage,
Right.
started construction on the garage. The foundation is in and the framing is up. It's all framed. The sides are framed. The
Okay.
roof is framed. So,
On the map, it only shows the foundation because when the surveyor went out to survey, only the foundation was done. That may be where the confusion was.
Well,
Just talking about the foundation.
it's really a two-dimensional map anyway, so you're not going to show
Mhm.
frame on it. Right?
okay. Oh, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit. I zoomed out. That's not good. All right. So let's look at this whole thing. It's a very large parcel. This whole parcel right here is the 30 acres. This is the proposed lot line here. So the existing house and the existing garage is up in here near this pond. I'm gonna just zoom in on that a little bit. So this is Old Kings Highway, the existing driveway, pond, home, garage. This is the shared driveway that we're talking about, that we're creating a new lot line along this boundary. They have an existing driveway. There's always been an existing woods road. They've utilized this back area, for recreation and, hunting and some other things. So
The driveway is on the new lot.
the driveway comes all the way from Old Kings Highway, past the existing garage. This is a parking area in front of the existing garage. And then comes in on the new lot.
All right. The new lot contains the driveway.
A portion of the driveway, yes. Yep. Like I said, they've accessed the rear of their property and utilized the rear of their property for years. Craig, how long have you lived there?
99, I think I bought the property. We moved in 2001.
All right, so about 20 years, 18, 20 years, they've lived there and utilized this property. So, they've cut firewood, they've had this woods road back here and for years. So the proposed, so this is the location that we're looking with the subdivision for the area variance. Currently, the garage is 55.6 feet. And I think I had a typo on my narrative that I put in from the existing property line. The new property line, we're proposing to provide a 25-foot wide easement, basically over this driveway. So the new setback there is 30.6 feet.
So one of the things the zoning board looks to do is to minimize the amount of variance required in an area variance, right?
Yes.
So 25 feet for a road is fairly large. I mean, the road in front of my house that's a town road is about 15 to 16 feet. So 25 feet, to my way of thinking, is fairly substantial. So if you were to shrink it to, say, 15 feet, a variance wouldn't be required at that point. And 15 feet is a lot of room for two cars to pass each other on a road. Why not shrink that strip to 15 feet and obviate the need for a variance?
So I would have to go back to the subdivision regulations to see if there's anything with regarding that as far as having the 25-foot.
I think it's a
25-foot
50-foot
strip.
right away, actually.
I'm sorry?
I think it's a 50-foot right away you gotta have for subdivisions.
Right, so this is not the right of way. This is going to be the actual strip of land that's deeded to the rear lot. There will likely be another 25 feet that gets as part of a shared right of way to do that. But this is just the strip of land that's going to be conveyed to the rear parcel. And really the request for the variance, we like to consider that even though it is about a 25% reduction in the setback, that the condition of the property, the use that's happening within that whole 55 foot area remains the same. It's a driveway now. It's going to remain a driveway. There's no other structures going to be built there because it is basically, that's the use. It's for access. So other than this line being there to separate this owner's property from this owner's property, the condition stays the same as a setback from the adjoining owner.
So you've kind of made my point, haven't you? That it can be smaller because the condition would remain the same.
Right.
It's not impacting anything.
Yeah. Right? Again, I think it has to do with the subdivision regulation.
Yeah, I can't pull it up. Because I'm looking at this, I can't pull it up on my screen.
Yeah,
I tried.
And I don't know.
Yeah, so
I didn't think that was going to
also
even come up, but
potentially for state fire code.
and I think for the width of a flag, I think there's some restrictions.
There is.
okay.
again,
And I'll,
this
and
is,
I'll plead that I'm not familiar with that. I'm asking the question. So
Yep.
if
yeah.
I'm familiar with that regulation. If,
Yeah. And I'm sorry, because I did not expect a reduction in that width to even be proposed.
right,
So, okay, so that's this area. So now I'm just gonna zoom out. So the new construction is back here on this hopefully new 22-acre parcel, which will consist of a proposed home and the garage that's under construction. The applicant already has received health department approval, which would have been required for the subdivision anyway, but also for the construction of the new home. And this is the location of the garage under construction. The foundation was in when the surveyor went there, so he located the corners. So that is the exact location on the site. So that being said, yes, there's an overlap with the applications as far as the building permit still being opened and the subdivision application being into the board for review. Is that a violation? I did not think it was. And again, you know, as far as the stop work order, I know that Jerry has gone out and done inspections there. So we're a little bit out of loss on that. But looking at this, you know, as far as if, and I understand it's under construction, but be that as it may, this, you know, really could have been here forever or could have been built later on, but it is in the center of the lot. It's the intention, as soon as the subdivision application is approved, to apply for a building permit for the home. They cannot do that for financial reasons, having two lots, this house here already. So they have to be on separate deeds so that they can get a building permit for this house. So once the subdivision is granted, they will be able to apply for the building permit, and then the use variance will be basically null and void.
So when do they apply? What is the plan for the proposed house? I mean, is that something that's intended to be built in the foreseeable future?
Definitely, you know, as long as the subdivision is approved within the next couple months, they hope to start construction in the springtime.
So if you stop building on the garage and we grant, well, if you stop building on the garage, do we need to grant a use variance if you get your subdivision and then you build a house, then you're not in violation anyway?
Yes, but we need it to get the subdivision. We can't subdivide it with just the garage without the use variance.
But if you don't have a garage.
Well, it is
then
there.
yes.
I mean, we all know it's there. We can't pretend it's not there. It's there.
It started.
Yeah,
It started.
it's there.
Okay, why was it started? I mean, if you don't have a house there, what was
Right,
the purpose
so-
of starting a
so-
garage?
So this, I mentioned earlier that basically you can't apply for building permits when there's an application in front of the planning board. So the building permit was obtained prior to that so that they could build this through the winter, get it closed in, and then begin their process of moving out and selling their front house once that subdivision goes through. So it was really just to get the foundation and everything in before the winter so they can finish the construction through the winter. And that'll be done when they go to apply for the house. But it wasn't done in violation. It wasn't done after the subdivision application. It was done before. And the construction started before the subdivision application. And to be honest, I never really, I've seen this before with other buildings. If it is, which it is an existing garage in this location, it would still require a use variance to subdivide the lot off because there's no house on that lot where the garage will be sitting.
So I'm sorry, you may have covered this, and if you could just back up a bit. Cliff, you asked if you could finish the garage, build the house in the spring, and then apply for the subdivision?
Yeah, I mean, my question is, you got basically the cart leading the horse, so why not turn
Right.
it around?
Yeah, so, and I'm sorry, Nadine, I blanked. I was looking for the 50-foot piece on my screen, and the reason why you can't withdraw the subdivision application and finish the barn and finish the house, that was financial reasons you had said?
Yeah, they cannot build another house on this lot while they still own a house and a garage. Because, you know, once you start getting bank loans, then it's all tied together. So in order to, you know, do financing for a home, this lot has to be a separate lot and not connected to the existing house. Because otherwise then they won't be able to sell that because it's all connected on the same property.
Right, it will be
So-
part of the mortgage.
Right. So that has to be a separate lot prior to constructing the home.
Right.
So either way, whether we wait at this point until the garage is finished and then reapply for the subdivision application, we're still gonna need a use variance. Where
Well,
that's
not
where
if you
we
have the
are.
house,
I'm sorry?
not if you have the house built and then subdivide with, right?
Wait, but that cannot, that will not happen. They
That can't
cannot
happen.
build a house
Economically, it's
without
not.
the subdivision.
Economically, it can't happen. Zoning wise and town ordinance wise, it's permissible. right?
Correct, correct,
Okay.
yes. And so is this garage. That's why the permit was issued. Because it is, it's allowable use.
Right.
Of course, in the use variance, economics does come into play
Mhm.
for hardship. But
Right.
Nadine, on the use variance, the application only has area variance checked, and I know you had mentioned nothing is written about the
Right, so when we,
use variance. That really needs to be amended, or we need a second application for the use variance. Would you agree, Chairman?
Yeah,
we can definitely do that because that was not identified until after we made it. And to be
Okay.
honest, it wasn't something that, you know, I had ever encountered. So we can definitely amend it. Would you like, we could do that?
what we have is an agenda item that indicates both a use and an area variance being sought. We have a memo from the code enforcement officer indicating that a use and an area variance are required. And we have an application that only asks for an area variance.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we can definitely, I mean, we could do two things. I could come into the office and mark the one that's on file and initial it, or we can submit a new one. It's whatever the board is comfortable with.
Well, we understand the issues. It's really kind of a technical clarification, and however it needs to be done, I don't know that it matters that much to us.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't think it matters, but just realize it's not just checking the box, because for a use variance, you do need a separate sheet of paper explaining how the strict application of the zoning laws would produce unnecessary hardship.
Yep,
Right.
and I can submit an addendum.
So you'll have to
addendum
attach
to
that
that.
as well.
Yep,
Okay. Well, one housekeeping thing that we probably ought to get rid of now, and that is we received a seeker notice of intent to serve as lead agency from the planning board. The planning board wishes to establish itself as lead agency. I think the sooner we do that, the better. I think that will, no need to slow it up there. So I think, do we need a motion on that for us to cede lead agency to the planning board?
Yes.
Someone care to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, a second?
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion made for us to allow the planning board to be lead agency for seeker purposes. I guess we'll do a roll call vote. I vote yes. Mr. Fisher? Yes. Mr. Barringer,
Yes.
Mr. Saris.
Yes.
Okay, so motion carries. Brianna, I can try and come in tomorrow and sign this thing for you?
Yep,
That's what
that
I'll do.
works for me.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So just for point of, well, to make it clear, that with respect to an area variance, there are certain criteria that we look at, and they're set forth in 14066C. The real issue is the use variance, which is a more stringent process. And we have to, it says that the zoning board, without a showing by the applicant that applicable regulations and restrictions of this law have caused unnecessary hardship, in order to prove such unnecessary hardship, the applicant, so in this case, the applicant has the burden of proof here, has to demonstrate to the zoning board of appeals that A, he or she cannot realize a reasonable return, provided a lack of return is substantial, as demonstrated by competent financial evidence. So you really have to offer us real dollars and cents proof. B, the alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique and does not apply to a substantial portion of the district or neighborhood. C, the requested use of variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And D, the alleged hardship was not self-created. So you're going to have to offer us some substantial evidence in satisfaction of those criteria.
Yes, we will
Okay.
definitely submit that in writing.
All right. Are there any questions from any of the other board members? Mr.
No.
Barringer,
No.
Mr. Fisher,
No.
Mr. Saris.
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Well, should we set a public hearing? Is that the next step here?
I think we have to receive that we can on the area variance because that application is complete. Should we hold off on the use variance until that application is complete?
Yeah, maybe
Or-
we should then wait until both applications, well,
Well, you know what, Cliff, why don't we set the date for the public hearing contingent on receiving the revised application?
right, that sounds good.
We'd appreciate that because I will definitely make sure that I can get Brianna the application that's marked for use and the narrative either tomorrow or Monday. That way you have it on file and it'll be ready for the public hearing.
All right,
All right, so I'll make a motion to hold a public hearing for the Williams area variance and use variance contingent upon receipt of the revised variance application and funds.
all right. Is there a second?
Is there additional fees for that?
Brianna, when we have two variance applications on one application, do
I've
we charge?
never encountered that before. I mean, I would assume so.
We've had them in the past.
Mary
You might
Lou,
wanna
I can
check with
answer
Becky.
from the town board's perspective is yes. If you have multiple applications, you pay each fee separately.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so we have a motion to schedule a public hearing. What would be the date, Brianna?
It would be December, let me look,
17th.
17th. Yep.
17th, all right.
Yep.
So we'll do a roll call vote. I vote yes. Mr. Saris?
Yes?
Mr. Fisher? Yes. Mr. Barringer?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, anything further?
Cliff, it's Mike Baden. Just to point out something you guys don't ever normally have to deal with. Is this by chance, if it's within 500 feet of a county or state road, which I don't know if it is or isn't, if it is, use variances on a vacant lot are required to be referred to the county planning board. I just figured I'd bring it to your attention to determine if it complies or not.
It's not
If it's out-
vacant though,
If
is
it's
it?
outside the 500 feet, it is not required.
So, but Mike, is it considered vacant with the structure on it? I mean, that's why we're here.
Well, that would be your determination if an accessory structure is vacant or not. But here, I can read you, if you'd like, the referral code. It says use variances where no physical expansion of structures, utilities, or facilities is necessary and or does not occur on a vacant lot. Those are the ones that are exempt. If it's not those, if there is expansion of structures, utilities, or facilities, and it is not a vacant lot, it requires referral if it's within 500 feet.
I was gonna say, let's get whether it's within 500 feet first.
Yeah. If it's
Nadine,
not, it
did
doesn't
you just
matter.
put
Yeah,
that up?
I'm
think so.
I
I'm
don't
pulling
think it
up
is.
the parcel viewer just so I can show you guys. And
Yeah, what's the address of the property? 533 Old Lucas Turnpike?
no, Old Kings
No, Old
Highway.
Kings Highway.
Old Kings
Can you
Highway.
see that on my screen?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So basically, we've got a measure. Let's go to feet. So this is 500 feet, 562 feet. So it's definitely
Like you're fine.
it's
Okay.
over
That looks good.
1,000 to 209, and then Lucas Ave. That's a county road.
Yes.
Oh, for goodness sakes, there we go. So that is over 500 feet also. So
So we're
we're,
okay.
Looks
We're
like you're
good.
fine.
Okay, great.
I just
Yeah.
didn't want it to get missed and have it come up later.
no,
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 thank
thank
you, Mike.
you.
Good. All right.
Right,
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. But with just one quick, can I just find out what the fee is? If you know, Brianna, otherwise I can call you tomorrow.
I don't have my fee sheet in front of me. I'm almost certain it's 150 as well. But I can double check with you tomorrow.
Okay, all right, that'd be great. All right, thank you
Okay.
very much, and we'll get you the additional information on the use variance, and we look forward to December's meeting, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Great, you too.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Other matters.
You guys want to approve the minutes?
Yeah, you could approve like 9,000 months of minutes.
I can approve August, but it has to be amended. There's
Right.
one amendment in the August meeting. Brianna knows about that one.
August amended.
What's that amendment?
That,
The vacancy, because Bill is in Aaron's vacancy now, so I just have to
Okay.
change the like.
Yep.
Thanks, Bill.
I make a motion, we approve on the grounds for August on that one.
Just August or the whole slew of them?
I didn't see any of the others.
Or we can just table it till next month and you guys can read
Well,
all
why
of
don't you do August at least?
August?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all the rest are they up on the drive?
Yes.
September's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Does anyone want to second the August motion?
I'll second the August motion.
Thank you, Bruce.
All right. Mr. Barringer,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fisher,
I'm going to abstain because I don't remember them.
okay, well, I abstain too, so we don't have a,
All right,
Okay.
so I guess you'll look
And-
at it again next month.
Right.
And September is on, Brianna, September is on the drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. It's another
you're
25 cents there, Bill.
I don't know. I looked at
175.
3 o'clock this afternoon. I didn't see it there, so. Oh, well.
all right.
So far, we can get one slice of pizza.
All right, so we've taken care of the intent to lead agency response to the planning board. The other item I see on here is a ZBA process chart.
Do you
So that
want to,
was,
yeah. Do
I'm
you
sorry,
want to
that
wait to
was,
do that next month, Bruce, or?
no, if people feel
Okay.
comfortable with it, that's to
Mhm.
hand to the applicants so they understand
Mhm.
the steps that we move through in arriving at a decision.
Can I make one more tiny suggestion? I'm sorry, I didn't see this till today.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you can approve just subject to that being changed.
Sure.
You go down to the, and boy, this is tiny. Down to the third blue.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have it on my screen, so you're gonna have to,
Okay, it says that, oh my God. I'm so old now. Let me get a magnifying glass or something. All right. It says, completed applications are placed on the agenda for hearing before the ZBA. I
Right.
think that should be, conference, because that's like the pre-app thing, isn't it?
okay. So conference
That's your
not here.
first look at it. Later on, we do a hearing, so I don't want them to think that they're getting their public hearing a month earlier than they are.
Okay,
Does that make sense to everybody?
yes, it does.
That, about that pre-app, we've had that. I don't know why we ever stopped it. That was, we were doing those pre-apps before.
Well, that's what we just did tonight.
I thought that was a regular application tonight.
Well, I guess it's not really a pre-app, it's a conference on the application. I
Right.
think they can request a pre-application. Is that what we do?
Yeah, that's what we used to do, and they didn't pay until they decided if they're gonna come and put the application in or.
Pre-apps are at the applicant's request once they
Yeah,
get a
that's-
determination from Jerry, so.
Right, it's not
they want
required, but
do
they
that
can.
Before, they can, correct.
I usually tell them a pre-app that they can do if they want to. If they want to pay the fee, then it's a full application because they've paid the fee for the full review.
Is that option set out anywhere in either the process chart or the procedures guide or anywhere?
It was in the procedure guys. When you guys redid everything, it was right after I started, so it was like December of 2018. There was the new procedural chart that they talked about it. So, but I was under the understanding that if they paid, it was a regular application. If they wanted to wait, they could do the pre-app and not pay upfront and then do the initial meeting. That's how it was explained when Steve was here.
Well, my question is this set out anywhere in writing so that an applicant knows they have that option?
It's in the procedural guide from when you guys redid it in 2018.
Okay,
And I can send it
So
over.
it's also in the zoning code itself, Cliff.
Right.
okay. All right. Mary Lou, you've looked this over and you're fine with it?
Yep, just that, change that one to a conference from instead of a hearing, and I'm good.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept it as part of the application package.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Mr. Cyrus,
Aye.
vote. Mr. Barringer,
Excuse
Aye.
me, the motion is contingent upon the change noted by Mary Lou.
As amended.
right,
Okay.
Aye.
all right, Mr. Fisher,
Aye.
all right, and I vote aye, so motion carries.
Mm,
Okay,
Make a motion, we adjourn?
before we do that, Brianna, you had a question for me the other day about an appearance before the local court.
oh, yeah.
So what's that all about?
Mary Lou, can I talk about this now or?
This is kind of tough because it's not our
Right.
court case. So we don't have any reason to go into executive session. Basically, we have an applicant who came before us. And we said that, I guess, I don't know if it was a pre-app or an app.
It was an application.
It was an application.
Right.
And we said we needed more information, correct?
Right.
And we never got any more information. That applicant is now before the court, and we have heard through people who were at court that they have said, oh, that, yeah, we gave them some ideas or something. I wasn't there. And so basically things were okay. That court date has been adjourned, which was one of the reasons I would have liked to have seen the May minutes approved, because then we could have gotten them certified, sent them to the building department so they could see that it sounds like there was somewhat of a misrepresentation or maybe a misunderstanding
The,
as to what happened here.
The case was decided in minutes that were approved.
the case had come, the first part had come in 2019,
Right.
and it had been denied. The application was for an area variance, and you guys had gone through everything and it was denied. They
Right.
came back
And Mark?
April of 2020. And you guys requested new information, and they were supposed to come back and they didn't. So now, since they are still in violation, they went to court and they told the judge that the ZBA had given them ideas and they were working on it, but that is untrue. And I was wondering if I could have authorization from the chair to send the minutes to the court so they understand that that is not the case.
I would think they should not go to the court though, because that's
To the
sending,
building.
right, I would say to the building department.
Mhm.
But were those minutes approved?
The
Yes.
ones in
April, you said?
2019 were approved, yes.
Okay, so they're approved, so,
Mhm.
Okay, they've been approved, sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I make the motion, we close.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Mr. Cyrus,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher,
Aye.
Mr. Barringer?
Aye.
Aye, okay, motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
everyone have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank
You
you.
too.
too.
Happy Thanksgiving.